it's Yvonne. I've sold a few things. I'm going to do a shipping video. A lot of people say shipping videos, and there are quite a few out there, so I'll add one to the mix too. Maybe the way I do it or the way I film it resonates with somebody who needs it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the page is opened up. I've got my camera tilted a little to the right to avoid customer address again. So that's why it might look a little different, because see, there's more over there. All right, so the first thing I want to say is, depending on the time of day, please pay attention to this right here. Sometimes if it's later in the day, it's going to say tomorrow, or depending on the time of day and the day of the week, it might even skip something like that. So if you're shipping later in the day, be sure you check that, because it's by default, it's going to say, like, if it was later in the day, by default, it would say February 24th, 2017 tomorrow. And I don't want that. It's pretty early, so it's still kind of coming up correct by default. But I just wanted to point that out. That's very important, because sometimes that alone won't mess up your shipping time if you're trying to keep your top rated seller discount. But it can be one of the factors that contributes to it looking like you got your shipments out late. So pay attention to that. It's real easy to forget. Okay, so hang on a minute. I've got this set up right. Okay, so here's the item I'm working on now. It's this Dancer's wraparound pink sweater. I pulled it from stock downstairs. It does have the original tag on it to remind me how much I paid for when I have to do my year-end inventory, if things that didn't sell. It's rips, which tells me it was half price, so it was $3. So I take it. Now I already know, I weigh things also. If, like, some things you can tell, okay, jeans, yeah, they're going to be in a padded flat rate envelope, right? They're going to be over a pound. Some things you can tell by just holding them, okay, this is under a pound, I'm going to be okay. And this, of course, I knew was over a pound, but I did only, sometimes I kind of share a little bit of the shipping. I don't do free shipping, but sometimes I'll kind of share the shipping a little bit, especially if it's an item that's not a name brand or high in demand. So I knew this was probably going to be, a padded flat rate envelope. If I could even get it in there, I might have to just put it in something else. But I put $4.95 on it. It's going to cost me probably $1.50, $1.80 more. But this is one of the items, one of the rare times where I kind of share the shipping, if you know what I mean. So I put shipping on this for $4.95, and I'll go ahead and put in the rest from the selling cost. Okay, and I'll show you that I am right. I already know that because I weighed it before I listed it. So see, it's not even in its envelope or box, which is, I won't box this. And we're already at what? 1 pound, 10.5 ounces. Okay, so yes, I could not get that big bulky sweater into a padded flat rate envelope where it would have been, what is it now, for a 630? So I just put it in one of my larger poly mailers. These are all my designer poly. Well, there's some of the free eBay ones. These are my designer poly mailers. I only have a couple of the big ones, and then the bigger free ones from eBay. Your quarterly coupon when you have a store. Most of my poly mailers I buy the 10 by 13 in the pretty colors, and I've got some smaller 6 by 9 I think here. That works well for like lighter weight items, and t-shirts fit nicely in those. Anyway, so okay, I probably could, if I spent half an hour and almost hurt myself, stretch this bag out as far as post office legally allowed, I probably could get this big bulky sweater in there and save a little bit. But again, on this sweater, I weighed it beforehand. I knew it was overweight. I knew I probably was not going to get it in a flat rate envelope. So I kind of shared the shipping cost. I knew about how much it was going to be. I also knew it wasn't a high-end enough piece that someone was going to pay $7 or $8 for shipping. So I kind of shared it. I put priority mail. I didn't put priority flat rate envelope or box, I just put priority mail. That way I had a couple options, right? If I could possibly squeeze it in there or chose to try, or if I chose to put it in a lightweight box. This is how I chose to do it. It came out at $7.95 for that. It added a couple more point ounces. So the shipping is going to be $7.95 on it. And again, this is a rare thing that I do every once in a while. I do not do free shipping, but every once in a while when the piece calls for it, and I just explained why, I'll kind of share shipping. Some of it up in the cost, so to speak, and then some of it, in the actual shipping cost. Okay, so back over to my computer screen where I'm at eBay. So that's what I did. Priority mail, package thick envelope. You don't have to, as long as it meets this, when you're using that, as long as it meets this, you really don't have to put all the dimensions in. You can just put the weight. So you saw it was 1 pound 11 ounces. I went ahead, and you can't do in between, it's whole ounces only. So I kicked it up to 12 because I'm going to add the tape and the label. It's going to fall under 1 pound 12 ounces, but what can you do? So that's what it comes out as. I made sure the date's right down there at the bottom, right? Okay, so purchase postage. Hi, honey. I'm filming a little shipping video. I'll be done in a second. Steve's home for lunch. Okay, so I'm not going to go down, okay? You guys, it should look something like this. I can't go down much further because that's part of my address. Oh, and by the way, I changed my name to Talent Trade on eBay. I don't put my real name. And the reason I added on eBay is because one time I had a chargeback on PayPal, and it was because she didn't recognize the name. It was just, was it Talent Trade or maybe my other business name, Stay in Touch? But anyways, so we resolved the issue on PayPal. She's like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. And so we went ahead and fixed that. So anyway, so that's why I added Talent Trade, which is the name I go by on eBay, and I've added on eBay to that. So when it comes in the mail to people, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember buying that. And don't open up a chargeback, through PayPal. Anyway, so I'm not going to scroll all the way down again. You know what the rest of the page looks like. So print label. This is the way mine is set up, okay? This is what's going to happen the way mine is set up. Okay, so it's going to... Okay, so there it is. I've got some custom settings for my label size. Again, I'm kind of over to the edge so you can't see customer address. Okay, here we go. So, and then it's just gonna print. Okay, so labels printed. If you're not using peel off labels yet, I don't want to be mean, okay, because to tell the truth, my first few years, I was just printing them out on paper and cutting them out and taping them on. I get it. I totally do. So I'm not trying to put pressure on you, but if you're not doing it yet, at least put it on your list, okay? It's so much simpler. Like, I know you have to make brain space. If you're like me, you have to make time and brain space to learn something new. Not that you don't love learning something new. You just kind of got to... with everything else going on in my life or maybe your life, you want to have the time to do that. So I'm not going to harass you, but if you're not doing it, then try to move it towards the top of the list, okay, to figure that out. You're going to love it. Okay. Okay, so we did the sweater. So I'm back at my computer. Ship your next item. I'm going to scroll this over a little bit for just a minute until I see what pops up. Not to be boring, but once again, just to protect sellers. Okay, so we're gonna pick the next one. The Q Baby jeans. Okay, so these are jeans. So I already know over a pound, they're gonna go into a flat rate padded envelope, right? I think, what did those used to cost us? $5.80? I can't remember, gosh. But a couple months ago they went up, so now they cost us $6.30. Okay, that's just such not a pleasing number. So for now, until I figure out exactly what I want to do, I'm still just putting on padded flat rate envelopes. I'm still just putting $5.95 for the shipping from my customers. And for now, I'll just pay up, the 35 cents myself. It just $5.95 just looks better than $6.30. So until I figure out, what I want to do, how big of a problem is it to eat, 35 cents? Of course, it's already pre-populated with the priority padded flat rate envelope because that's what I put in the listing. So it's already pre-populated. So remember what I did a minute ago with the sweater. I wasn't sure if I was going to do padded flat rate or what. But I knew it was priority, right? We talked about that. I knew it was over £1. So I just put priority when in that listing. So it just popped up, priority, and gave me a few options. This one's pre-populated. I'm keeping it that way. Yes, you can change it. That's a different topic. If you're ever going to change this, it's probably okay if it's upgrading a service. But if you charge somebody priority, don't try to downgrade it, okay? That's probably, you might squeak by, but it's not cool, and at some point it's probably not going to work. So again, I can't stress this enough. Make sure, if it's later in the day, make sure this says today. You want that to say today, right? So everything's good here. So I'm just going to, purchase it. It's going to pop up on my phone. I have my phone set to tell me. Let me move this over. I have my phone set with my PayPal and eBay that gives me a little notification that I just spent some money out of my PayPal. I do that as a protection for if anybody, of course, tries to hack in and change my password, or spending some money. So that if someone was successful and they're out spending money, I know about it. And it's a pretty cool feature you might want to enable. It pops up just a little notification. I'm iPhone, so I'm speaking iPhone. I don't know about Android system. It just, little notifications, the way I have it set, it just rolls up real quick and disappears and tells me I spent some money off my PayPal. I also have that set up that way for credit cards too, for my credit card. So if anything happens, and I use Capital One, and it happens really quick. So think about that for your credit cards too, if they have that service and it's compatible with your phone. It on my phone and with Capital One, it pops up like within seconds. Like I'm still signing at the pad, and it's popped up and told me that I just spent some money on my card. Just a security measure. Anyways, okay, so I'm going to sign out for just a second. Check this label over, print it out. Okay, so the label's printed out for these Q babies. These Wrangler Q babies that we just worked on the computer to print it out and talked about that. I already knew, like most jeans, over £1, but they fit nicely into a padded flat rate priority envelope from the post office, which you should always have plenty on stock. Definitely. I get them boxes of 100 like most people. Okay, so anyways, Q Baby, this is my inventory tag. There's no price tag stuck on here like the last one because I got these at the bins. So these are just over £1. My bins are $1.29 a pound, so those would probably cost me what, $1.30, $1.40. I sold them for $18 pretty quick. $5.95 shipping. I'm eating 35 cents of the shipping. We talked about that a second ago, so I won't ramble about that again. So, even with eBay fees and PayPal, what is that, about 12, 13, 14%, depending on where you're at. Still pretty quick flip. Might can get a little bit more for Q Babies. These had some signs of wear on them. But within the Wrangler line, I don't do a lot of jeans, period. I definitely don't do a lot of Wranglers. But I'm a Levi girl. But within the Wrangler line, Q Baby is good. They have this special no gap waistband for curvy girls. They fit really well, and these were black, so I'm going to put them, I've got my label printed out, my sticky label. I'm going to put them in here, put the label on, put on a thank you sticker, and we're good to go. Hey, I wanted to talk about something. This is a little different. So the other two items that we did together, they were already in plastic bags ready for shipping, right? But half of my inventory is hung up. Sweaters I usually don't hang up because sometimes they can get stretched out hanger marks, in the shoulder area. So I usually fold those up gently and put them in plastic bags. And of course, jeans, I'll fold them up and have them ready. But half of my inventory is hung up. So this silk beaded skirt that I sold was hung up. So on that, again, I talked about all my pretty poly mailers, but I also have tissue paper. I buy reams of tissue paper off eBay. I buy the smaller size because it's easier to store here on my shelving unit. So I don't buy the real big sheets. I buy the smaller size, and they're fine. Let me see how I've got. Well, it's doubled, okay? So things get tissue paper nicely. This has a little extra because there's a lot of beading on it, okay? So it gets tissue paper and then put in to a bread bag, most likely, if it'll fit, and I can tell by looking that will fit. Gets put into a bread bag, which I get these at Walmart. They're size 10 by 14. They cost me $2.68. There's 100 of them in this box. Isn't that great? If you know of a better deal, tell me. So far, I don't. And it has the suffocation warning labels already printed on it, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, they are just bread bags or bakery bags, so they're not sealed. They don't have the self-sealing, but I don't care about that because, hello, 100 of them for $2.68. That's a great deal. I also buy their clearish, they're slightly opaque, somewhat clear trash bags. The large trash bags, 20 count. And the reason I buy these are real large. What are they, 30 gallon? Yeah, 30 gallon. The reason I buy these is I turn them upside down and I put over, like I put over like jackets, to keep them, like blazers and nice silk shirts or whatever, to keep them protected when I hang them up in my eBay storage room, which is downstairs. And that's another video coming where I'm going to show kind of how I'm set up personally, if anybody wants some ideas, or if they see something and they can give me a tip on something to do better. But that's another video coming. Anyway, so I just wanted to talk about that. I found something that it's okay if the address shows because it's actually a shipping service. They didn't use the eBay's internal global shipping program. They bought it through a shipping service that's going to, I ship it to them and they're going to relay it to the client. I think it's going to Korea. It's the Ralph Lauren purple label jean jacket that I talked about in a video haul. I think the second one back that I got at the Salvation Army for $8.98. I put it up on auction. It had I put it up on auction, started it at $168. It had 7 watchers that week, but no buyers. So I said, okay, either they're afraid it's going to get bid up too high or that's just a little bit too high of a price. So I relisted it at fixed price, buy it now with best offer, 30 days. And I put it at $160 and that's what it sold for. A best offer did not come in. It just sold for that price. Sometimes that happens. I mentioned that last haul video that I'd say 20 to 30% of my buy it now with best offer just comes in at full price because perhaps they don't want to take a chance on losing it while waiting for me to respond, to the best offer. So here we go. Oh, I wanted to tell you something too. On this, you can customize this page. Let's look at that real quick. So you can customize. I don't think the default has photo in it. If I remember correctly, when I first got the Seller Hub, I was like, where's my photos to remind me of what, what the item looks like. So I remember I purposely added that in. And so there's a lot of different things that you can put in here. Oh, wait a minute. I just now noticed this. What else is in there? Oh, look at that. That's interesting. Sorry, some of these I haven't looked at this for a while. Okay, so interesting. So remember that in case you don't have pictures and you're saying, hey, how did she have photos in hers? Also, I think just like on other spreadsheets, see how you can, set these to the column width that you want, okay? Okay, so anyway, sold that. So we're going to go to print shipping label. And again, I'm not worried about the address this time because this is a forwarding service. So it's No big deal, right? Okay, so it went up. I put shipping services priority mail. I'm thinking it's going to go in a flat rate envelope. Just every once in a while, I just kind of leave it open as priority mail just in case I change my mind, or at the last minute I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes maybe they bought a lot of things and I want to treat it more carefully. I don't know. Sometimes I just do that just to give you some options. But I put in the price again. I'm still doing $5.95. I know it went up, even though we're top rated seller. I think it's still a padded flat rate envelope from United States Postal Service. Still costs us $6.30. So I am top rated seller. Okay, so when you see these, as we go through this, and you see these prices, remember that it might look different if you're not a top rated seller with the discount. So select the service. You see all these options that have pre-populated for me. I'm going to go ahead and put it, it's a jean jacket, but it's only a medium and it's not super thick. I think a padded flat rate envelope will be fine. It's going to get repackaged and forwarded on. So I'm going to do that. I don't need any of these other items. Again, make sure it says today. It's pretty early, so I didn't bother looking because I knew it was going to be okay. But times of day matter, so make sure this hasn't automatically defaulted to the next day. Because again, that alone may not cause you problems, but together with some other technicalities, it could make it look like you might be late. Well, that's taking a while. What's up? Let me reset it. Let me see if it's happening like that. There we go. So, okay, again, my discount. Everything looks fine. Oh, and up here. Let's see. I'm not doing bulk shipping either. I rarely do that. But we'll look at this, okay? This will give you some options here too if you want to. I just print mine on half sheets, sticky labels. But if you want to do something different, you can do it here. There it is. Shipping label with receipt and instructions. Like, okay, let's just check it real quick. So we do something like that, okay? I don't put in packing slips. On a forward item like this, it's going to have my return address, and I, I just don't do it. I don't worry about it. Typically, I don't worry about it. So we're fine with the way it was. Save it, or just cancel it back out. But I just wanted you to be aware of that. And so I'm not doing bulk shipping. That's something different. If you're shipping a lot of items and you want your scan sheet, I just have a few going out today, so I don't need to do that. Some other options, print packing slip. I never check this because, I just don't. We don't need to do that. Sometimes, there might be an extra quarter floating around in there. It's not that big of a deal. Mark it off as like shipping and handling, under handling cost. Not that big of a deal. So they don't need to know that if they paid $5.95 and it only cost you $5.75. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so everything looks fine to me. Purchase. I've got this set up on my phone. It's going to give me a little notification pop up here on my iPhone that I just spent some money out of my PayPal account to pay for my labels. So there we go. There's some options here if you need to void it. You can do that. Be mindful. You may not get your money. There was my notification from PayPal, but I just paid $6.30 to eBay shipping. You can do this and it's reliable. It just takes a little bit of time for your money to show back up. Okay. Some other things here. Reprint this label. Blah blah blah. We don't need any of that, but know what all these are. Take a look at all this. Request a free carrier pickup. I don't do that either. It's my post office. It's actually a post office annex. I love it because they're happy to have my orders. They're so happy. They get a little bit off the top for it running through their system. It's a little annex department in the corner of a copy it store. They're so friendly and helpful. They even order my boxes and stuff for me. I just get it from them. My flat rate padded envelopes, they'll order me an extra box of 100 along with theirs. I see quite a few other resellers in there. They're hardly ever that busy though, just around the holidays. That's all. Tape or glue. Okay. Do not tape over the barcodes. You're not supposed to, but sometimes I put my clear tape over it. I'm just telling you the truth of what I do. But I make sure there's no air bubbles. I make sure I do it so precise. I just worry if it gets wet. They certainly, I think they mean more with some kind of colored tape or eBay tape or something like, or duct tape, which they don't even recommend you using, by the way. Anyways, so I don't know if I should have said that out loud, but I worry. I put a little bit over the addresses too, just in case the package gets wet. I don't know. I don't know if it's overkill or not, but that's what I'm doing for now. So I'll just hit print label. Other things will pop up. My printer, you saw that before, my printer settings. And, just print. Oh, I got something in the queue. Okay. Anyways, sorry. I got something in the queue. I need to take care of that first. So anyways, that was it. And so after I do that, then I'll just go to ship your next item. I do have another one down there that's sold. If I was done, I would probably just go to return to my eBay. All right. Thanks.